Hey.
Really, you left me out on this?
You thought it was just me today, didn't you? Oh, well.
I mean, it
Unfortunately,
could be.
he's here too.
I'm like, what do you mean, unfortunately? No. We ain't gonna have that here. Unfortunately, I'm here? No.
Well, I'm sorry. Fortunately, he's here. That better.
You didn't even bring me gum?
It's in my car. But, you're going to have to deal with me snacking today.
I don't mind it. I mean, I understand that there are those people that, can't stand.
Yeah, I almost got, like one of my older sisters, I didn't realize, and I smack and I don't realize I smack. This has nothing to do with video games, but just humor me. I smack and I don't realize I smack. And one of my older sisters, I was talking to her, and we were having a very nice conversation, what I thought was a very nice conversation, until she pulled the car over and said, if you keep smacking that gum, I'm going to go in your mouth, and I'm going to take it out. I thought she was kidding until she did it.
Oh.
So, anyway, another game, another day, another game, another talk.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the big things we're going on right now is the pushback. Is the pushback, the date being pushed back for Red Dead Redemption 2 has quite a few people in a bit of a tizzy.
Yeah, they can be. I mean, it's understandable because they've already had the teaser from it, a while back, and they gave kind of a street date of when it was going to be coming out. But however, I'm pretty sure at the company either some issues happened or they actually do need more time because when it comes to a game that's open world in general, I personally feel that you do need a bit more time to, tinker with everything.
God forbid we get another Mass Effect.
What? Well, yeah. I mean, another example of pushback games, Breath of the Wild. That game got pushed back. I don't know how many times, but in the end, it was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't mind games being pushed back. Well, I mean, I kind of do mind it because I'm looking forward to it. But if it's worth the wait. Don't have me waiting, and then you give me a box of crap.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's worth the wait, I don't mind. So,
yeah,
you developers better be making it worth my while.
Yeah, because things that are bigger projects in general do take time. And, the more time you put into it, the better the outcome of it. Instead of it just being rushed out there, because I don't even think Andromeda was pushed back at all, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, because then we got the whole lovely faces of Mass Effect Andromeda.
Should have been, yeah.
But it's at least they made patches to make them look how they should have right at the start. But even then, you basically just put out something that's incomplete out onto the floor. Be like, hey, here you go, here's your game. It's like, what'd I get? Oh, just phasing through rock formations, unable to kill enemies because they're stuck in those rock formations, or just seeing people get blasted off to Jupiter for no reason at all, or just things like that you wouldn't see in a complete game unless it's just it's a bug or whatever. But there's tons of problems in there. But at least in regard, they are still patching it, making it okay. But it wasn't okay when it was right out the door. So I'm pretty sure that's all they're aiming for is that to get rid of any bugs or kinks that's going on and stuff. And just put more time into it to refine it, and then it'll be ready to go by spring.
Yeah. So, just keep your shirt on. It's coming. Anyhow. Don't ever play like that.
What?
Anyway, one of the big things...
It's opposite day.
Big things we're going to talk about today. Interesting topic. We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say, so if at any point you want to chime in with your comments, please feel free. We definitely want to hear from you. And before we jump into this, just to give you a quick update, we are very stocked up on our handheld systems. Got a lot of 3DSs
Especially 3DSs.
Yeah, got quite a few 3DSs in, so, we get quite a few phone calls from people looking for those.
I mean, look at all these.
If you're looking for a 3DS...
It's nuts. We got 3 right here, and I think we have an XL right here, 1 in the case.
Yeah, and I actually sold an XL a couple of days ago, so we're pretty stocked up. So
they range anywhere between 110 to 130.
I can't see.
But other than that, yeah.
So yeah, come check us out. But anyway,
so the big pitch today.
We've all been there, heard that our favorite video game is being adapted into a movie, and we bum rush to the theater thinking that we're going to need tissue and that it's going to blow our hair back and we're going to be sitting there in suspense, and we leave thinking, what crap did I just waste my 2 hours of life on?
However, Mortal Kombat wasn't a waste of time.
Not at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
I still remember that Mortal Kombat movie. It was great. I think I still had the VHS of it back at home.
You know, people still laugh at me because I had VHSs. I still watch my VHSs. You still have a VHS player?
I still have it, yeah.
Yeah, I still have a VCR. So,
Gotta
yeah,
watch that Land Before Time, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch that. But
Dude, that was my childhood, man. You kidding me?
It was. Well, you know, I do go to the Disney Renaissance. You know, Little Mermaid, Lion King, Pocahontas, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan, Pinocchio, Lion King 2.
You just keep going on and on.
Beauty and the
Anyway,
Beast,
so
Cinderella, Snow White. Anyway, the original was awesome. Mortal Kombat Annihilation was horrible. Richard, well, you know what? We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Hold that thought. A lot of people have that. A lot of people feel that way, but hold that thought. So,
I mean,
wait. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, Annihilation in itself, yes, it was bad.
It was not.
Well, in the ways, but however, I did like all the characters that were thrown in, especially Sindel.
Well, maybe that's
Goro.
why. Maybe that's why I had a bit of an endearment for it because
you were able to see more people that was in the cast line. But other than that, like that was about it.
I mean,
like,
there was cheesy.
The movie in its entirety was crap.
There was cheesy acting. I like the storyline. Anyway.
Yeah, but then we gotta be like, we came like that.
And I love Shao Kahn. Anyway, so this list
Cue Ball?
actually, ranks the video game movies against its peers because we all know, you know, a video game that's adapted into a movie, it's not going to get an Academy Award nomination. It's just not. So this ranks it against the peers.
But we can dream, can't we?
No, ranks it
What?
against.
You hear this? He's trying to
Ranks it
crush your
against
dreams.
its peers and.
Display of the characters was cool, but they could have done better. Yeah, develop the characters a bit more.
It's
Exactly.
Very
like,
true. Very true.
That's all they needed, but
Very,
like
very
at
true.
its time, like
Yeah, it was good for its time period. So this
we shall make great acting.
This list goes actually from best to worst. They have 31, so it goes from the best to the absolute unwatchable. So anyway,
Well, we could probably just like flip through the top 5 best and then the top
hold
5
on.
worst.
The number 31, the one they have at the very, very top as being like the best is the original Mortal Kombat. I thought it was very, very good. Initially, I was kind of like, but looking at everything else, I was like, this was a very good. It was a very good film, and I appreciated the storyline. What did you like about it?
That I got to see like most of the characters I generally played in the game as is. At that time, I was really young, so like I didn't really understand its plot. Basically, all I saw was just Sonya crack someone's head, and that was it.
Right.
But wait, was Jax in Annihilation?
Yes, Jax was in it.
Yeah, but I love Jax in Annihilation. Like Jax was hilarious.
He was.
Freaking.
So, to your point, Richard, what I liked most about Mortal Kombat, the first one, was that there was an actual storyline you could follow, and it appeared that they actually did develop it.
His brother? No!
Yeah, it wasn't just
wasn't
just thrown together to cram a bunch of stuff in. There was an actual true storyline, so it was good.
Your soul is mine.
To this guy's delight, the one after that, Super Mario Brothers. Jax was in part 1 also, was he? But it was
it was just like
he
only had like a. I remember now. Yeah, he literally only had He literally only had a one line in the movie, which was unfortunate. And then they finally threw him in Annihilation.
Where was he at in part 1?
Oh my god, I can't remember. I think it was like as if it was like one of those flashback things or whatever. I think Sonya had and she saw him. But other than that, honestly can't remember for the life of me because I haven't seen it for like the past 8-9 years.
He called out to Sonya as she boarded the boat. Oh!
There you go. That's right. Thank you, Richard. I was like, I know it was...
Right. 10 points for Richard. So, Super Mario...
Oh, the club scene, that's right. The club scene in Mario
right,
Kart. That's what
right.
I told you. I was like, who in the right mind thought that a club scene in a Mario Brothers movie... Like, that was like a complete curveball for me in its entirety. But it was funny. Like... I didn't, and plus, being young, you didn't know, like, those kind of things. But if it was somebody, like, our ages now, they'd be like, what a nightclub? But it's like, the things, like, we would want out of a video game movie, would just be, like, the general things that you would see in the game. Like, in the Mario Brothers movie, for example, you'd want to see, like, the power-ups of, the mushroom making Mario bigger, or fire flower, so where they throw fireballs at, whatever. Or at least, turtles and Goombas and not like just their heads and a human body. Like that was the most. Oh, that thing in its entirety was hilarious. Oh, don't you get me started on Bowser. Bowser, look. But at least they made Yoshi a dinosaur. That's what made me happy. But unfortunately, they killed him off. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
I didn't see the foolishness, so I can't.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know why they killed... Like, Bowser killed Yoshi. I was so mad.
Why?
Because he was... I forgot why. But it was so dumb because... I think it's because he managed to let Daisy go and Daisy escaped. But he walks into the chamber where he held Daisy and then he just looks in there and sees Yoshi and just kills him off. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. And also what was worse, the ending leaves you on the cliffhanger. So we are never going to know what happens after that.
Not necessarily. They could come out with Super Mario Brothers 2 25 years later.
Oh.
Anyhow, directly after that, Street Fighter. I actually really like Street Fighter.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's right. Yoshi was stabbed by the woman holding him hostage. Oh.
I really enjoy Street Fighter. Okay.
How's it going? Alright, no problem.
Bit of a confession. I had a video game crush on Cammy. I did.
Well, who doesn't?
There were quite a few people who preferred Chun-Li over Cammy.
Or Juri, the newer character.
You know. But yeah, Cammy. And so I really appreciated what they did with her in the movie. And who didn't like that last scene fight between Guile and Boston?
Oh.
Guile and Boston. Who didn't?
Boston? It's Bison?
Bison.
We're not in Massachusetts, Christian.
Okay, which one?
We don't... Boston and Boston.
But shows you how much I
Now
like.
face the mighty Boston.
Shows you how much I like him.
Oh my god.
I do remember he had, the red hat and I played Street Fighter a really long time. But yeah, Bison.
In Boston.
This list going from best to worst. The first Resident Evil movie should be above. Very true. Wait till you
The
see
Resident Evil movies in themselves weren't bad. Like, I understand to like the real hardcore fans. Like, I know they want to see probably like Chris, Claire, Jill, Wesker, etc. But like the story in its entirety, at least it was like their own rendition of it. But they still used some things from the game, at least like the viruses and etc. But it was okay. Like, I'd give it a solid like 6.5 or 7 just for at least trying.
you talking about Resident Evil?
Yeah, the Resident Evil movies in general. Like, at least you even got to see. Yeah, they did get bad after the first 3D movie. Because, like, at least in one of the movies you got to see Nemesis, and Nemesis is not one of the most memorable bosses in the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah.
And you did get to see Wesker, but he looks kind of pudgy. But that's just me being picky about it. Like, but the person that played him, he did fine.
Yeah. Well, the next three we've got Doom, Tomb Raider,
I
and
forgot
Far
about
Cry.
that Doom movie. The Tomb Raider movies were good.
Tomb Raider. I like the first one better than the second one. But yeah.
Yeah, because the Tomb Raider movies were alright. Like, even though they've done like a bunch more spin-offs after that, like it's still was kind of like its own. It still was kind of like its own story, and Laura Croft freaking nailed it.
Angelina Jolie, yeah, she was very good. Yeah, she was very good. What did you think of Far Cry? I didn't see that one.
I didn't see that one either. I completely forgot they made a Far Cry movie.
Yeah, doesn't see when it came out, but they said it was hilariously low budget, so that's not.
Oh,
no.
Is it B-rated movies?
That's not that.
Those,
I almost want to say
B-rated movies.
C-rated.
Like, but to be fair, like there are some B-rated movies that were really good, especially on Sci-Fi Channel. Those sci-fi B-rated movies are awesome to watch.
I can't.
That was those like monster movies or whatever, like Sharktopus or whatever. Like any movies like those, like I don't know like why I watch them, but they're so funny.
Yeah. So Richard at number 25 is Resident Evil Extinction. Yeah.
Would you like me to extend the movie for you?
Yeah.
Not
Resident Evil Extinction
Oh my
is at number
God.
25.
Oh, The Crows. That's right. Do you remember that movie?
Which one?
There was one, I forgot which one. I think it is Extinction, I'm not too sure, but I remember one of the scenes they were out in the desert and there was like these crows that were infected with the virus. You saw like their eyes like all like really up and they eat off human flesh. But basically like they had to be quiet, otherwise, if they were to make noise, they'd be like, they just, go nuts and start killing everybody.
What kind of nonsense is this?
you got to see the movie. Like
Not-
it was crazy. Like
Extinction was all.
yeah, all desert. Yeah, so that was it. Yeah, like that movie in its entirety. Like that was a good movie, but the crow scene was that was brutal. But it was so cool, like to see like that huge firestorm just like completely incinerate them all. That was great. But yeah, there's many lost lives too.
Yeah.
A murder of crows.
Oh goodness. Number 24. I don't know what this. In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale.
Dungeon Siege had a movie?
I didn't see that.
What?
It says it came out.
Dungeon
It
Siege?
says it came out in 2007. Yeah, So okay.
Dungeon Siege. Okay.
Let me see.
Let's go to the worst. What's the worst ones of them all?
Was anybody in this?
Dungeon Siege? Like
Ray Liotta and Burt Reynolds.
what?
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds in Dungeon Siege?
Anyway, Richard, we're back to your we're back to yours. Number 23, Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm. The first one.
Yeah, the very first.
Let's get
one.
to the worst ones.
Double Dragon. No, there's some good stuff in here. There's some,
I know, but I want to get to the bad ones. Like, I want to see like what was the worst of the worst.
So we got Double Dragon, Bloody Rain. I like that.
Blood Rain was Bloody Rain. It's
Blood
Rain.
Blood Rain. I always called it. I'm sorry, I always called it Bloody Rain. Yeah. Max Payne. Hey, Richard. Resident Evil Apocalypse. Number 19. Silent Hill. Richard at number 18.
The Silent Hill movies were okay. I mean, they could have been scarier. I mean, we really can't compare it to that. But either way, like it was still like a good little jump. But other than that, like that's about it. Like
Dead or Alive. Number 17.
I remember that movie. The Dead or like I wanted to watch it just because I used to play Dead or Alive a lot back.
I did too.
In my middle school days. It was interesting to at least be able to see everybody in a live action rendition of it. But either way, like I couldn't honestly follow the story for it. Like I understand that it was probably just another tournament, like as if it was on the games themselves. But like. It was still cool to see, like, Zack, Tina, Li Fang, Kasumi, Ayane, etc. Basically, like, most of the important people, at least. So it was good on that. But other than that, like, I would probably give it, like, a solid 6.
This kind of referenced it as a occasionally slapstick martial arts action comedy that's only intentionally funny some of the time.
Yeah. They had some points that were, like, they tried their hardest to like make something funny.
Did this actually come out in theater?
It did, but not.
Because
it was like basically it was like what is it like those Fathom movies or whatever. Basically, it's those like movie things that you only see for a day.
Oh, because I'm looking. It says it came out in 2006. I don't remember it.
Yeah, it came out in 2006, but I think they only had it for like about a month.
Gotcha.
But either way, like it wasn't.
Oh, that's really cool.
I really wish it was better though. Like, well, because that was just my most favorite, like one of my most favorite fighting games, aside from your typical Street Fighter, etc. I know. We can't have all half nice things.
House of the Dead. We got House of the Dead, then 15, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Cradle of Light, and then Richard. We're back at Resident Evil, number 14, Retribution, which
Retribution was pretty.
I guess in this case we're getting worse. So I don't know if it's a good thing that we're back at Resident Evil. Hitman, Agent 14.
The Prince of Persia should be
Agent 47.
Is it top 5 worst or top 5
Prince
best?
of Persia should be top 5. Do you think it should be top 5 worst or top 5 best?
I just said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ah! Well, no, you asked if it's top 5. Hitman, Agent 47.
I'm gonna go with top 5, maybe worst.
Oh, we've already passed the top 5 best. Oh yeah, we've already passed top 5 best, so it's not up there. Number 12, Silent Hill Revelation.
The Prince of Persia movie, like now that I'm thinking about it, it actually wasn't that bad. It was good for what it was. Like I'd honestly not an 8. I'd at least give it a 7. Like looking back on it, like it actually really wasn't as bad if you look back to it and if you actually played the games itself.
Boy, you guys gonna be disappointed.
Was it that good?
So,
like it was alright.
It wasn't that bad, but.
sorry, we got customer chiming in. Yeah. No, you good?
Studio audience.
So we got
Yeah, studio audience.
Hitman, Resident Evil Afterlife, and then Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. I didn't see.
Oh my god, that movie was so bad. The Legend of Chun-Li movie was terrible.
What was that like a straight to C list? VHS
It was-
straight.
No, it came out on DVD. It was like that movie in itself. Basically, it was just like.
What?
Like
I
it was just a
remember
spin-off.
seeing. I remember hearing about it, and I think I remember seeing a trailer, but I never actually watched it. What was it about?
It was really just a spin-off story to explain about Chun-Li's history.
What about it?
Just the history for her.
Why?
In general. Like I don't know. Like they just wanted to do it, but it turns out it really wasn't.
So
that
I
good.
can't know about Cammy,
No.
who's way more interesting.
But I'd rather be talking about Thunder Thighs.
Oh,
That's her nickname in the game, by the way. For those of you that play the original Street Fighter 4, you know why. I don't know why, but they made her like thighs like enormously huge.
why?
I don't know. Like, and then after that, like it was gone. Like they
She
got
went
rid
back
of it.
to normal.
Yeah, it like she looked like it was beef. It was like literally gonna like like crack your neck if your thigh hit you. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You know, number 8.
You know
which-
what that list? I gotta hear your top 5. Okay. I already have
Okay,
some. I already have some.
okay, deal. So at number 8, which I was glad because I liked the movie. I liked it. Like we discussed it already. It wasn't abysmal, but I liked it. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is at number 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, but to their point, they said Annihilation just had too much going on. And in a movie about awesome-looking fights, no one wants to wonder where the narrative thread went. The sequel retains Robin Shaw as the Great Liu Kang, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
But we lost Christopher Lambert as
Feels
Raiden.
bad now.
Yeah. The ever-intense Brian Thompson brings
Maybe
his
because he
usual
was
150%.
rated in another movie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what I
Um,
mean? Like rating.
Oh.
Raiden in another movie.
Your pun, stop it.
No.
But we got but to Brandon's point, they said we got great characters like Jade, Sindel, Reptile. You know, like
Reptile was cool to see in there.
it was.
They got to see his invisibility like you saw in the game and everything. Like, they did everything fine with the characters, especially Sindel with her freaking... like her freaking screech. I hated that shit.
Yeah. Annihilation isn't remarkably bad. It's just unremarkable. And you can't argue with that.
I guess you could say the movie got annihilated, huh?
So then we have 7, Wing Commander, and then number 6, which I was surprised this is this low on the list, Warcraft.
I am too.
I thought it was
Very.
I thought Warcraft was actually okay.
I'm sure that my roommate.
Did you? What did you?
It was fine for what it was. I mean...
Like I said, I wasn't
well,
going.
regarding Richard, when he said like top 5 movies, that's in my top 5. The reason being is because at least with like if you've ever played the World of Warcraft games, they have at least had the characters in the lore correct. Like they had Uther, Lothar. They've also had you even saw a glimpse of Gromosh, Hellscream. And you saw Baby Thrall, and you saw his parents Durotan. Along with one of the main villains in the game, Gul'dan. He is a warlock, so they basically had everything. Basically, like, they had all the characters' renditions like tooth and nail. But the thing with that movie is that since there's so much lore behind it, that they still had to make it understandable for an audience that has never ever played it or even know who the characters are in general. So basically,
did a good job of that.
yeah. But what was fine was that, at least with the movie, even though they twisted it in different ways, they still had the same end result as to what happened. The Horde invaded a new world, which basically had all the humans. What else was there? The main king, I think it's King Lane. He died by Garona. But in the movie, she wasn't mind controlled as compared to in the game. She was to kill him. So basically, it's like little things like that. Like either way, like they still got to the same end result, but they got there in a different way. So easily, like that's in my top 5. At least like in the movie, you still got to see like a lot of important lore stuff, but they had to twist it in a way for a general audience, for those that both have and have never heard of them, for them to understand it.
True. I've actually heard number 5. I actually heard you reference this. Stream crashed.
I think we're okay.
I think we're all right.
No, it
doesn't
hasn't
say-
disconnected on us
it doesn't say
yet.
we have a
So.
connection issue. But Need for Speed.
Need for Speed.
2014.
If anything, Richard, it also could be like anything with your connection, possibly, because I don't know what our quality we're running on, but I know it's probably not that great. So I mean, it also depends on like connectivity between us and the people viewing. That's generally how that is. But anyways,
Never got to see that, but I really want. Oh, Need for Speed. Yeah. I didn't get to see Need for Speed either. Did you?
I vaguely remember it, but it wasn't. I honestly wouldn't mind watching it again, just so I can have an opinion on it again.
It seems like that kind of movie.
Yeah, because there's some movies I know I have not seen, but I want to watch just so I can be like, okay, I've seen it, and this is how I feel about it. Instead of just be like, I don't know.
Was that with Aaron Paul?
I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I think it was. Yeah. I remember that name specifically. That's the only thing that stays in here from remembrance of that movie, because a friend of mine watched it because he was a big fan of the Need for Speed games, and then we watched the movie. When he watched the movie, he didn't like it all too much, but like I said, I did see, loved it.
So I did see.
Yeah, it's like everybody like that movie in itself. Like everybody had a lot of mixed opinions on it. It could be easily weighed, one way or the other, but either way, it was all right for what it was.
Gotcha. Okay, here we are. Our top 5 worst video game movies. So, number 5 was Need for Speed, according to them. Number 4, Alone in the Dark.
I really didn't like that movie, and I didn't know that they were basing it on the game itself. That's the thing. I didn't even...
Brandon.
Oh, stop it, Hami. I know who Hami. Hami's a friend of mine in the Smash community. Oh, Hami. Oh, stop you. Making me blush and stuff. Huh?
I said, alright. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. He's freaking out, guys. Watch out.
No.
Anyway.
I think I'm pretty myself, but,
I mean, at least I got catcalled.
I'm glad somebody's laughing. Number 3, Assassin's Creed. I liked it, and I know it took a while. I talked to a lot of people who went to go see it.
It was really slow.
That was the major
exactly
YouTuber. Hey to you too. Anyway.
No. He's saying that to me.
Whatever.
Don't be jealous. Guys, he's jealous. Watch out.
A lot of people said that it was just way too slow, but I understood that. No, it's hot in here. I understood that.
No, we have the air on.
AC was a huge bomb.
Yeah.
I was totally hyped about that movie, and they didn't do the movie justice at all. Well, I thought they just took too long to lay out the story.
It did take a long time for it to lay out the story, but also it's like, after everything that most people that have played like throughout the entire Assassin's Creed games in general, like we were hoping for just like a little
thanks
bit
for the hearts. Thanks.
I mean, it's like we were hoping for just like a little more, maybe. But
well, I think it's just kind of one of those things where you have to take into consideration.
The actor that did it was fine.
Like, well, I wish they would have gotten another actor, because you don't pull from the X-Men series. How dare you?
I mean, they don't just have to be in there. That's like saying, hey, we're gonna take Hugh Jackman and make him play like something else.
Did you guys talk about the Mario Brothers movie?
Yes. Yeah, we did, Melissa.
Mario Brothers was actually the second best. They had it listed as the second best.
I'm still disturbed by Bowser to this day. Like, Bowser's rendition in that movie is, I don't know. Like, you would at least think that they would at least make him, a spiked turtle that talked. But no, they didn't. They made him a person, and nothing personal. But he's like, oh no.
You have to put a change jar or a jar every time. Every pun you got to pay out.
Yeah, we really need to.
No, well, I mean,
they needed more of the
Assassin's Creed.
The great thing about the video game was watching the missions unfold by being stealthy and
parkouring through the city.
That's true.
And we didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
We honestly didn't. Like, all we just saw was training, but that was really it. Like, we didn't get to see like in action things like the things you do in games, like
so,
be stealthy, then like the signature, like you jump behind them, then you put your blade in their neck and just kill them right there.
So to your point, even though I understand they had to lay the story out, they could have put some more of those elements in. So you're absolutely
yeah, it's like
right.
That's why like the Mario Brothers movie did fine compared to others, because they had elements in the games that were there. That's why I didn't understand like why Warcraft is in the top 10 worst, because they had elements from the
Well,
game.
and that's
that
why
is
I
in
think
there.
that's why I appreciated Annihilation, because even though it was kind of cheesy, but they had a lot of elements from the actual game,
Yeah,
and that I appreciated.
Yeah, like Sindel screaming or Reptile's invisibility and his
Jade's stick.
Yeah, Jax's.
Yeah, arms. Yeah, Melina's.
said-
Okay, look, that fight between Melina and Sonya was everything. Was everything. I mean, that mud slinging back. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay.
Oh,
Number 2, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, the second worst movie.
That should be better. Well, like I was saying earlier, like the movie itself, like thinking back on it, it did fine, but I don't know. Like I feel like with that one, that they probably would have had to play the games to understand it more. So basically, it didn't really target a general audience that well. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, if a great video game movie was defined by
Whoever
character
came up
elements,
with
then
this
Street
list should
Fighter
be-
would be the best, Whoever came up with this should be
fired.
fired. Yeah, exactly. Like this list is up front. Like give me this. Like
And the worst video game movie.
Worst.
Postal.
And it's kind of funny because if you play Uncharted 4,
And let me actually
They
read,
made a Postal movie.
and let me actually read this. It says, here it is, a movie that should make you think Warcraft is high art. Postal opens on 2 terrorists in the cockpit of a plane fighting about how many virgins greet martyrs when they enter heaven. The argument ends with them deciding to fly to the Bahamas instead, and then the passengers of their hijacked plane revolt and force it to crash into the World Trade Center. Everything hovers around that level of bad and offensive for the rest of the movie, making it an easy call for definitely worst video game adaptation ever.
You would think they would at least send a postal card.
Postal was the MacGruber.
It was like, oh my god.
You're funny, Richard. You're funny.
Like I don't even think like if that movie didn't exist, I'd be better off it not existing. But oh my god.
Okay, so our
Okay,
top
so-
5 best and worst. You want to go?
Ladies first.
That's why I asked you,
That's why I asked you.
jackass.
What? I'm not a donkey. How dare you? Did you just assume my
Um,
animality?
I calls it like I sees it. Anyway, Mortal Kombat, my best. Mortal Kombat.
Which one? He's gonna say Annihilation. Watch.
No, even though I really liked Annihilation, the first Mortal Kombat
Thanks
was
for your
better.
donation towards my plans.
Even though I really liked Annihilation, the first Mortal Kombat, it was just better. It had a better substance to it. So Mortal Kombat, then Annihilation, and then Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Assassin's Creed. And oh no wait back up
Oh, no, guys. No reasons.
Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider, then Annihilation,
Mm-hmm.
then Street Fighter,
Okay.
and then Assassin's Creed.
I am thoroughly disgusted. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so for mine, my top 5, the Warcraft movie is 1. Second one for me is the Mario Brothers movie. Third would be Mortal Kombat, just because I used to watch it a lot more than the others. Fourth one's Tomb Raider, and then the fifth one would probably be a juggle between Prince of Persia or Annihilation.
Okay, Richard, you said Mortal Kombat, Prince of Persia, Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life, Need for Speed, and The Legend of Zelda: Hero of Time.
Yeah, they had a Swedish production of it.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
vaguely remember. I'm actually gonna go watch that when I get home because I completely forgot that they actually did a Legend of Zelda movie, but it was a Swedish production only.
That's interesting. Very, very interesting.
Mm.
So,
But either way, I could at least say that the Resident Evil movies are in my top 10, aside from I think it was Retribution, because Extinction is after what I said easily. But other than that, like that's generally how I feel online.
Did they ever do a Street Fighter Mortal Kombat cross?
No,
They should.
and I'm glad they didn't.
Why?
Because the last thing I want to see is in Boston. Oh my god!
I'm never gonna live that down. Apparently,
No, you're not.
I'm
M Boston.
I'm,
M Boston.
I'm still waiting for the screenplay for my Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time series.
I'm gonna wait for the day that somebody is gonna attempt to do the Legend of Zelda series as movie renditions. I would love to see a movie rendition of Majora's Mask, because I remember there was somebody that I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was like 3D animated or something, but I remember somebody did like a clip of what could be like a trailer for Majora's Mask. You know, you saw Skull Kid, you know, get the Majora's Mask and everything, and you saw how he turned and everything. It was crazy, and it was really good. Like, I honestly would, you know, love to see him like actually make the Majora's Mask game movie rendition. But I don't know how you're gonna get through all the dungeons in about a roughly, at most estimate of 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, like I wouldn't mind, you know, if they could like cut through it, like, you know, a little bit, like the ones that weren't like the parts of the game that were like per se.
They did kind of cross over in the question I was getting ready to ask you, and all of you watching. Is there a video game that you want to see adapted into a movie, done well? Because, well, we touched on a topic a few weeks back that was kind of controversial because he didn't agree with it at all. But apparently they're considering making Call of Duty into
I
a
don't want
movie.
to touch that again.
And so, are there any movies? Are there any video games that you want to see made into a movie done well? Richard, Majora, Skyward,
So
Sword,
basically, all
Twilight
the Zelda
Princess,
games,
Ocarina.
they really can. Like, their story plot is great. Basically all the characters in each of those games, you know, they have their own significance in every.
What if it was done well, a Halo movie?
Can be done, but only Halo 1 to 3. We don't need 4 to 6. Even though I know 6 isn't here yet, but.
They need to get.
And
that
the Metal
something.
Gear Splinter Cell or Metal Gear Solid, like they have like a lot of good potential, you know, possibilities, but we just need somebody to do it. I did remember I saw a post somewhere that they are working on a Metal Gear Solid movie. However, they are making the writers play the
George
game.
Clooney was supposed to be the lead in Splinter Cell. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they got canned,
What about Tekken?
Nah.
Why?
The story for it is fine, but honestly, I don't know. Not when I'm up in the air until, you know. Because, like, the story between, you know, Heihachi, Jin, and Kazuya, like, that's fine. But, like, I don't know how they're going to fit everybody else. But, however...
Well, see, that's what I don't... And I think that's where these movies, quite a few of these movies have gone wrong. You don't have to cram everything into one movie. And that way you leave people wanting more, and you leave room for you to make other movies. So if you leave out certain characters, you leave it open for them to pop
but then
up.
with the Tekken series, it's like you're basically going to give everybody, like, their own individual story, because everybody does really have their own partial story, though.
Soul Calibur?
Soul... Yeah, it can, because it's basically... The Soul Calibur series is basically, you know, good sword, bad sword. And then basically there are people that follow along with Soul Edge, which is basically the bad sword, and Soul Calibur, which is, you know, the light. But and those characters under the light would be like Sophitia, Cassandra, basically like generally like that, like, you know, like a one side or the other thing. Because basically like that's how you play out the game, is like what's your fate of what you would want to choose, like your way of the sword almost.
Right.
I already know that they are doing a Sly Cooper movie.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. They already even had a trailer for it that was made last year.
Did you watch Ratchet and Clank?
It was alright.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I meant to go see it, but it was out of theaters. Like
The
it was
Ratchet and
like,
Clank movie was okay.
like that
It was
long.
funny.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad or. Like,
Uncharted needs to be a movie, and I think they announced that Tom Holland is going to be a young Nathan
I could see
Drake.
it.
Yes, they did announce that.
Mhm.
They did announce that. Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. That is going to be.
Yeah, it's
pretty
like there's so
interesting.
much potential, but again, it's just all depends on the writers. But at least, you know, like I said earlier, the Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah. But like I said earlier, in regards to the Metal Gear Solid, they are making a movie on it. However, they're making the writers for it play the game. before writing.
That's I think,
And that's fine because
yeah.
they'll have more of an understanding of like how the story is.
I think that should be a prerequisite for anybody that's going to make a movie based on a video game.
Yeah, because that's
You
what
need-
was great about the Warcraft movie was that the writers got to work with Blizzard, the people that made the game. So they got to help them in
So you're really scratching your head. That's why it was number 6.
Yeah, because the company itself that made the game helped with the movie. Like that's why I didn't understand like why it was so bad, and it wasn't.
What did they say? That's a good question. Poor Warcraft, it says, it tried so hard and wanted so badly to make us happy, but despite all the time and all the money and the best efforts of the director, the final
movie
product
was highly grossing too.
was a whole meh with great visual effects. Here's the thing. You just can't hang a massive wannabe blockbuster on the star power of Paula Patton and Ben Foster. That's not fair. But it's the truth. Preacher cast members Dominic Cooper and Ruth Negga
I would too, Richard.
are here too. And despite being arguably the biggest stars in the movie, they're not even in the lead roles. Where their story is concerned, you emphasize most with orcs, but all the ones you actually care about just die. And the movie has about 3 fake endings before the real one, which isn't satisfying at all.
He doesn't understand.
Ultimately,
Important lore characters get killed in that game. I'm not even kidding.
Ultimately, Warcraft fell into one of the biggest traps of video game movies. It expended far too many resources on a project that didn't need to exist
LA
in the
Noir
first
could
place.
be good. I wish the gameplay for Noir was better, but like the story for it was great. Because it was like back in the Mafia days in the 20s. I like any Mafia movie in general, so like that's just me.
Saints Row movie.
The Saints Row movie. Probably just the first 2, because after that, just went.
007, everything and nothing would be awesome.
Seems like there's all this potential.
Yeah, but they just have to be done right.
But anyway, I think that's about.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for hanging with us again today. Was there
Yeah.
anything we didn't? We talked about Red Dead Redemption. We talked about the 3DSs. If you need a handheld, we've got plenty of 3DSs in. And so, even though we're getting ready to log off, if there's any movies that weren't on the list that you felt should be on the list, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. So, talk to you soon. We'll be back on Tuesday with more, with something else. Have a great,
Something else.
Yeah, have a great Memorial Day weekend, everybody.
Take care.